Hi, my name is Stan Voelkel, and I've been doing a series of videos too during the pandemic just to kind of get a better understanding of what some of people that I know that are in business, how their business has changed, how they're doing, just different, if there are any new opportunities that have been created as a result of it. And so one of my friends and a person I've done work with in the past is Rob Eppilito. And Rob owns a company by the name of Video Mojo. And so with that said, Rob, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Video Mojo?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate this. Video Mojo, I've been doing this since 2012. I've been doing video for about probably almost 12 years, but in 2012, I stopped doing everything else and just focused on video. I do video production. I do video production and video marketing. There's two different. There's making the video, giving it to the client, and then I'll also market if they need help with that.
Great. What type of videos do you actually produce? I know what you've done for me, but obviously there's a lot of other businesses out there and you probably work with them in different ways. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so since 2012, I've probably produced, I'm going to say about 400 videos. And I'm just going to give you my last 2 months, just real quick to kind of give you a good summary of really the variety of videos that I see, because I do just about everything except I don't do personal. I don't do weddings, things like that, parties. That's not me. So in the last 2 months, I did a video for, I can talk about these a little bit if you want, Southern Ice Cream. I did one for a guy who's creating his own rum. I'm in the process of finishing one called Beauty's Community Garden right here in the Heights. I just did one for Compassion Katy. It's a program to help kids who are underprivileged in the city of Katy. I did one for a business. I did 5 or so for a business coach. I'm in the process of doing several for a home cleaning service. I've done for private schools, did lawyer videos, business suites. I did one, sales tips, and I've done a lot of restaurants and a lot of retail shops. So I've done everything from the business part of it to the B2B, and then I've done a lot of B2C type of videos.
Right. It's interesting. One of our mutual friends, a person that we network with, Ted Neininger, he did videos. You did videos for him, and he said that he landed one of his biggest deals as a result of the video. And so I'm just kind of curious, why do you think video has been so effective, or why is it so effective sometimes?
And matter of fact, we'll tell Ted's story very briefly, why his works so well. One of the best ways to use video is as a tip. The reason videos work so well, number one, it's the next best thing to being in front of your client. That's number one. I mean, if you can get an opportunity to sit with your client, a potential client, video, and that's hard to get. You have to get past the gatekeeper, then get an appointment with them. But if you send them a video and it's you on video, it truly is the next best thing to you being in front of them. It builds instant credibility. They get a very good feel for who you are, that likability thing, which is all about getting that appointment. So a great way to use video is to do tips, give real information to people who have a need for your service, information that's going to help them. And what ends up happening, Stan, is you end up getting in front of them where you probably wouldn't if you would send them a marketing piece. But if they're in Ted's example, he was sending out these sales tips. How do you close the deal? How do you get away from the maybes? There's so many maybes in the sales business. How do you get around that and things like that? And he was sending that out to people, and I gave him an idea. I told him to drop his video with a picture in an email and send that out to potential clients. And I say send the video. You're not sending the video. You're sending a link, but you put a little picture in there that looks like the video. So he did that. He sent it out, and it was a sales tip. And I think he did 2 or 3 times to this one company. They loved his quick information. It was helpful. They got a feel for Ted, and then they called him. And when somebody calls you, man, that's 100% better than when you're calling them. And then Ted did what he does, and he landed the deal. So that's his story, and that's kind of one way of using video.
Right. So I guess most of these, and that's really a great idea. I never thought about that, of actually sending an email with a video link there. But what are some other ways that companies are using video? I'm sure it's LinkedIn. They're using it on LinkedIn and some other places, but I guess maybe LinkedIn, their website. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So obviously social media is a great place to use it. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and some of them have different requirements, but great place to use it. YouTube, of course, is a no-brainer. Let me talk about YouTube very briefly. YouTube is the second largest search engine. And people, when they hear that, they don't really realize I'm talking second largest. People go to Google and then they'll go to YouTube second before Yahoo, before all the other ones. They go to YouTube because YouTube is such a great way to learn. It's an easy way to learn, right? The information is fed to you. So putting your video on YouTube with the correct SEO stuff, great way. On your website, that is probably the most common thing. And what I see people do, they'll put it on their website, but then they'll forget about it. They'll put it there and they won't think about using it anywhere else. So I'm going to give you a great place to use it in conjunction with your website. And I did this myself on LinkedIn. When I started connecting with a bunch of people on LinkedIn, I would say they would connect and then I would send them a one-line thank you. I'd say, Stan, thank you for connecting. And then below that, I would have my signature. Now below my signature, I would have this PS, if you want to learn more about me, see my interview on Houston radio. I was on Houston radio a few years ago and I recorded it. But Stan, I never asked a single person to watch it. I didn't put it up in my body of the email, my response in LinkedIn. And what happened was just by saying a quick little thank you, when I did that, I think I did it for 2 months straight and I was connecting like crazy. Those 2 months, my #1 video on my channel was my video on that Houston radio show. And it was all from people looking at it on LinkedIn. So putting it in your signature of your email, I did it on LinkedIn and now I do it on email. When you drop the video link in your signature, you have your website and stuff, and you put something that's catchy. Stan, if it were you, you may want to say, find out, here's 3 things that people do, mistakes that they do when they're getting ready to lease a commercial property. But it's in your email signature. It doesn't feel salesy, and people click on it, and what they see is they see Stan, and it may be 2 minutes of Stan giving information. 2 minutes in front of someone who has no idea who you are is huge. That's another powerful way to use video.